We live in a world where we are lied all the time, and it is up to us to be intelligent and to figure it out what is a lie and what is a truth. When I was little, my grandmother used to have a parakeet, and I was really impressed by the ability of the parakeet to be able to say hello, hello, or whatever other words the parakeet could say. Later on, I realized that the parakeet only repeated what it had learned to repeat. We live in a society where the majority of people are parakeets, unfortunately. They're cute, repeating what they have learned, but they never question the validity of the claims. And so we have people with degrees from universities of renown, supposedly universities where the very intelligent go. But in reality, we have degrees that amount to nothing, because humans can be divided into different types, and there is a type that can memorize everything and so get a good grade. And we have other humans that are not really good at memorization, and usually that is the case of the true intelligent people. But these people have they have an ability called critical thinking. And they can question everything until they get to the bottom of the truth. Is it the truth or is it not the truth? Unfortunately, we have a lot of parakeets who have gotten degrees as scientists or doctors, etc. And they are very conceited, and they are ready to put anybody down who doesn't agree with them. But I am talking here to those who not only have this ability to question things, but the sense that something doesn't add up. When I was little again, I was told that Christopher Columbus sailed to find a quicker way to the West Indies, and he defied everyone at that time. He went against what people knew at that time, which is that the earth was flat. I learned this because a standard book was given to my school. This was the same book with the same history, and it was taught around the world. So there was an organization that had decreed that this was the official history of the world, and people, no matter where they lived, they were going to learn this. And it is so interesting how in YouTube now you hear that people didn't believe the earth was flat at that time. They in fact knew that it was round. Now they're trying to tell us the opposite. And they're trying to say that we have bad memory. I don't have bad memory. I was born having a good memory, and also not being a parakeet, but the ability to think for myself. The game in this world is rigged. There's a certain group of people who control the information that the masses get. And while we have the appearance of being free, we are tightly controlled by debt. We are controlled when it comes to knowledge. They tell us what they want us to learn. They pay us less every year. And life, unfortunately, becomes harder for the majority every year that goes by. Due to my ability to think for myself, I started finding a way how to change the system. And I came across a science that most called magic. This is the ability to use the substance that is widely talked about in the Bible. This is blood. Why am I talking about the Bible if I know that the Bible was created by these individuals? How do I know that this Bible was created by these deceivers? Well, if you read the Bible carefully, you will find many mistakes. I think the mistakes were made on purpose, because part of the game is that you have to allow those who are seeking find the truth. And so, after being part of a church for many years, I came across the many mistakes. And on the other hand, you have certain clues, certain bits of truth that are in there. For example, there's power in the blood. Salvation comes through blood. And blood is always talked about. I came across a passage, Hebrews 9:7. It talks about how the high priest could enter to this special place, but only with blood. And I came across other passages that talk about this. In Hebrews 9:12, it talks about that the Christ, the anointed, came in with his own blood. And that was the perfect situation. This passage is talking about us. It's talking about us, the anointed, to use our own little drop of blood to create this reality. Just on a piece of paper, right? I intend to bring heaven on earth. I intend to make this a better place. This is exactly what we are saying. I am tired of seeing the injustices in this world. Our world is come to a point where people from countries that are not as wealthy as the first world countries, they get food, but it's poisoned. Is this the kind of society we want? Or people fight for a job and they slave themselves for this job. They don't have time for their children. They don't have time for anything. We can do something. We can change the world. All it takes is one little drop of blood. And let's wake up all these people who go to church who think they're smart. I mean, when have they seen God? No, they haven't. Then the church has a response. Well, the book has been written, so God is in a period of silence. No, he's not. This God that they're talking about doesn't exist. And the folks say, we've been saved from what? Have you ever seen anybody die a second time? Have you ever heard of somebody dying a second time? No, because it doesn't exist. Why do you give money to these churches? It's a lie. It's just a lie. Wake up. Be smart. Think for yourself. If there is a God, then you have to understand you are God. You are an extension of God. God cannot be separated from the rest. But anyway, that's for another video. Every Sunday people sing and think, and they've been saved from what? They still go to work. They still suffer here on earth. And on Sundays they drink of the blood supposedly of a man, and drink of his flesh, an act of cannibalism, but they can't think because they're just parakeets. They hear other people say you're saved and they repeat I'm saved. They're clearly not saved. They're growing old, and one day they will die. We are here to bring heaven on earth. We are here to go drink of the waters of eternal life. The earth most likely is flat, and in the middle there is a place to drink, where there's some rivers that flow and a mountain that is called Mount Meru. And there should be waters of eternal life. Love you all.